Experiment number 7. Aim to learn and practice the use of marking and measuring, cutting and fitting tools. Apparatus. Marking and measuring tools, scribers, divider, punches, tri-square. Cutting and fitting tools, saw, chisel, files, hammer, taps. Introduction. Machine tools are capable of producing work at a faster rate, but there are occasions when components are processed at the bench. Sometimes it becomes necessary to replace or repair component which must be fit accurately with another component on reassembly. This involves a certain amount of hand fitting, the assembly of machine tools, jigs, gauges, etc. Involves certain amount of bench work. The accuracy of work done depends upon the experience and skill of the fitter. The term bench work refers to the production of components by hand on the bench, whereas fitting deals with the assembly of matching parts through removal of metal to obtain the required fit. Both the bench work and fitting requires the use of number of simple hand tools and considerable manual efforts. The operations in the above work consist of filing, chipping, scraping, sawing, drilling, and tapping. Marking and measuring tools, scribers. A scriber is a slender steel tool used to scribe or mark lines on metal workpieces. It is made of hardened and tempered high carbon steel. The tips of the scriber is generally ground at 12 to 15 degree. It is generally available in length ranging from 125 mm to 250 mm. It has two pointed ends. The bent end is used for marking lines where the straight end cannot reach. Divider. It is basically similar to the calipers except that its legs are kept straight and pointed at the measuring edge. This is used for marking circles, arcs, laying out perpendicular lines by setting lines. It is made of cast hardened mild steel or hardened and tempered low carbon steel. Its size is specified by the length of the leg. Punches. These are used for making indentation on the scribed line to make them visible clearly. These are made of high carbon steel. A punch is specified by its length and diameter, say at 150 and 12.5 mm. It consists of a cylindrical knurled body which is plain for some length at the top of it. At the other end, it is ground to a point. The tapered point of the punch is hardened over a length of 20 to 30 mm. Dot punch is used to lightly indent along the layout lines, to locate center of hole and to provide a small center mark for divider point, etc. For this purpose, the punch is ground to a conical point having 60-degree included angle. Center punch is similar to a dot punch except that it is ground to a conical point having 90-degree included angle. It is used to mark the location of the holes to be drilled. Tri-square. It is measuring and marking tool for 90-degree angle. In practice, it is used for checking the squareness of many types of small works when extreme accuracy is not required. The blade of the tri-square is made of hardened steel and the stock of cast iron or steel. The size of the tri-square is specified by the length of the blade. Cutting and fitting tools. Saw. The hacksaw is used for cutting metal by hand. It consists of a frame which holds a thin blade firmly in position. Hacksaw blade is specified by the number of teeth per centimeter. Hacksaw blades have a number of teeth ranging from 5 to 15 per centimeter. Blades having lesser number of teeth per cm are used for cutting soft metals like aluminum, brass and bronze. Blades having larger number of teeth per centimeter are used for cutting hard metals like steel and cast iron. Hacksaw blades are classified as all hard and flexible type. The all hard blades are made of high speed steel hardened and tempered throughout to retain their cutting edge longer. These are used to cut hard metals. These blades are hard and brittle and can break easily by twisting and forcing them into the work while sawing. Flexible blades are made of high-speed steel or low-alloy steel, but only the teeth are hardened and the rest of the blade is soft and flexible. These are suitable for use by unskilled or semi-skilled persons. Chisels. Chisels are used for removing surplus metal or for cutting thin sheets. These tools are made from 0.9% to 1% carbon steel of octagonal or hexagonal section. Chisels are annealed, hardened and tempered to produce a tough shank and hard cutting edge. Annealing relieves the internal stresses in a metal. The cutting angle of the chisel for general purpose is about 60 degrees. Files. Filing is one of the method of removing a small amounts of material from the surface of a metal part. A file is hardened steel tool having a small parallel row of cutting edge or teeth on its surface. On the faces, the teeth are usually diagonal to the edge. One end of the file is shaped to fit into a wooden handle. The figure shows various parts of a hand file. The hand file is parallel in width and tapered slightly in thickness. Towards the tip, it is provided with double cut teeth on the faces, single cut on edge and no teeth on the other edge. This is known as shape edge. Hammers. Ball peen hammer. Ball peen hammers are named depending upon their shape and material and specified by their weight. A ball peen hammer has a flat face which is used for general work and a ball end particularly used for riveting. Crosspin hammer. It is similar to ball peen hammer except the shape of the pin. This is used for chipping, riveting, bending and stretching metal and hammering inside the curves and shoulders. A straight pin hammer. This is similar to cross pin hammer but its pin is in line with the hammer handle. It is used for swaging, riveting in restricted places and stretching metal. Tap and tap wrenches. A tap is a hardened and steel tool used for cutting internal thread in a drill hole. Hand taps are usually supplied in set of three in each diameter and thread size. Each set consists of a taper tab, intermediate tab, and plug or bottoming tab. Tabs are made of high carbon steel or high speed steel. Square filing. To file the given two mild steel pieces into a square shape of 48 mm side as shown in figure. Tools required: bench vise, set of files, steel rule, tri-square, vernier caliper, vernier height gauge, ball peen hammer, scriber, dot punch, surface plate, angle plate, and anvil. Sequence of operation. The dimensions of the given piece are checked with the steel rule. The job is fixed rigidly in a bench vise and the two adjacent sides are filled using the rough flat file. First on them the smooth flat file such that the two sides are at right angle. The right angle of two adjacent sides is checked with the tri-square. Chalk is then applied on the surface of the workpiece. The given dimensions are marked by scribing two lines with reference to the above two datum sides by using vernier height gauge, angle plate, and surface plate. Using dot punch, dots are punched along the above scribed lines. The two sides are then filed by fitting the job in the bench vise, allowed by checking the flatness of the surface. As the material removed through filing is relatively less, filing is done instead of shaving. V fitting. To make V fit from the given two MS plates and drilling and tapping as shown in figure. Tools required: bench vise, set of files, tri-square, scriber, steel rule, ball peen hammer, dot punch, hexa, vernier caliper, surface plate, angle plate, vernier height gauge, 5 mm drill bit, 3 mm drill bit, F6 tap set with wrench, anvil and drilling machine. Sequence of operations. The bars in the pieces are removed and the dimensions are checked with a steel rule. Make both pieces surface leaves and right angles by fixing in the vise. Use files for removing material to get level. With the help of tri-square, check the right angles and surface levels. Using surface plate and angle plate, mark the given two metal pieces as per drawing with vernier height gauge. Punch the scribed lines with dot punch and hammer, keeping on the anvil. Punch to punch gives 5 mm gap. Cut excess material wherever necessary with hexa frame with blade, drill bits and taps. The corners and flat surface are filed by using a square, flat and triangular file to get the sharp corner. Dimensions are checked by vernier caliper and metal and match the two pieces. Any defects noticed are rectified by filing with a smooth file. Care is taken to see that the punched dots are not crossed, which is indicated by the half of the punch dots left on the pieces. T-lap joint. To make a T-lap joint as shown in figure from the given reappear of size 50 into 35 into 250 mm. Tools required: vise, steel rule, jack plane, tri-square, marking gauge, 25 mm, hammer chisel, crosscut saw, tenon saw, scriber and mallet. Sequence of operation. The given reappear is checked to ensure its correct size. The reappear is firmly clamped in the carpenter's vise and any two adjacent faces are planed by the jack plane and the two faces are checked for squareness with the tri-square. Marking gauge is set and lines are drawn at 30 and 45 mm to mark the thickness and width of the model respectively. The excess metal is first chiseled out with hammer chisel and then planed to correct size. The mating dimension of the parts X and Y are then marked using a scale and marking gauge. Using the crosscut saw, the portions to be removed are cut in both the pieces, followed by chiseling, and also the parts X and Y are separated by cross-cutting using the tenon saw. The end of both the parts are chiseled to the exact length. A fine finishing is given to the parts if required so that proper fitting is obtained. The parts are fitted to obtain a slightly light tight joint. Precautions: always wear eye protection, preferably industrial equity safety glasses with side shields. The lathe can throw off sharp hot metal chips at considerable speed as well as spin off spirals of metal that can be quite hazardous. Don't take chances with your eyes. Wear short sleeve shirt. Loose sleeves can catch on rotating work and quickly pull your hand or arm into harm's way. Wear shoes, preferably leather work shoe, to protect your feet from sharp metal chips on the shop floor and from tools and chuck chunks of metal that may get dropped. Remove wristwatch, necklace, chain and other jewelry, tie backlog there so it can get catch in the rotating work. Think about what happens to show your face if your hair gets entangled. Always double check to make sure your work is securely clamped in the chuck or between centers before starting the lathe. Start the lathe at low speed and increase the speed generally. Get in the habit of removing the chuck key immediately after use. Some users recommended never removing your hand from the chuck key when it is in the chuck. The chuck key can be a lethal projectile if the lathe is started with the chuck key in the chuck. Keep your fingers clean of the rotating work and cutting tools. This sounds obvious, but I am often tempted to break away metal spirals as they from at the cutting tools. Avoid reaching over the spinning chuck for filing operation. Hold the tang end of the file in your left hand so that your hand and arm are not above the spinning chuck. Never use a file with a bare tang. The tang could be forced back into your wrist or palm.